So I'm going to show you guys this really cool Pear Deck lesson that I for my students yesterday. So it was actually something that I based off of Mr. Roten's tour of China lesson that he has. So definitely go check that out at mrroten.com. It was kind of the inspiration for this. So for those of you that haven't used Pear Deck yet, it's free actually. So you just go on Google, search up Pear Deck, and all you got to do is you sign up for it. And then right here where you go down, it says present from a file from a drive. You just got to click on the Google Slides that I created here. It will show up on your Google Drive automatically, and then you could do the lesson. So the lesson itself is the whole basis of it, the whole idea is pretty simple. The whole idea is we're going to learn about what led Muslims to convert, right? How did Islam spread essentially, right? So what's cool about it, it's a pretty simple lesson, but what's cool about it is the fact that it uses this website called 360 Cities that allows for the students to be able to explore these sites that we are visiting, right? So for example, for this one of these first slides, it says explore the mosque, right? So what they do is they click down here in this little banner here where it says student browse. They click on the link and it'll actually take them to the mosque itself, right? So they can actually get a cool little way to explore this area. So they click on the white arrows and they could see different parts in the mosque, up, down, side. Just don't click the blue ones because I'll take them to a whole another place. So just remind your students of that, that they can click around, explore it. So I give them a couple minutes to explore, about 3 minutes. Then after that, they go back to the Pear Deck. So by the way, for those of you that haven't used Pear Deck before, every time you move a slide, it actually moves the slide for the students, right? So then they draw a picture of the mosque. So it gives them some cool little tools for the students to use in order to draw the mosque itself. There's also questions like this one, right? So the students answer the question. Then again, they go to this other place, El Gem. We talk about, how Islam also spread by violent means and talk about the queen here in North Africa whose head got chopped off and sent to the caliph and everything. Then they go explore. I talk a little bit about how, this area used to be a place that was conquered by the Romans, and that's why, there's a structure here that looks like a Colosseum. So then they draw it. Then I talk about Mansa Musa. So the whole point of this, again, is to see how people converted to Islam and to see the empire itself, right? So I talk about Mansa Musa and, and his conversion and his influence and his Hajj and everything, Timbuktu. Then the students actually do a tweet. Oh, I forgot to translate this. So I actually have this lesson in English and Spanish. So I just forgot to translate this part back to English. But essentially here they write a tweet about it, right? So it allows them to be able to write on here. And then they explore the desert a little bit. I talk about salt. And then I tell them to go explore and try to see if they can find some salt. So this is, again, one of those explore things that they can do using this website. So again, they can look around and see kind of what's around here in the middle of the desert and such, right? So just kind of cool. So here's the salt that they could find, right? It looks pretty cool. The students were like, what is that, snow? So they get pretty into it, exploring on their own. Then we go answer these questions. How did these nomads create such a large empire? And so on. Then we get to Mecca finally. And we go through the slides here. And then again, they could explore the Kaaba itself or Mecca. Right? See some cool little images and such. They really like looking at like the people, right? Like, oh my gosh, what? Like I hadn't even noticed. They're like, oh, they're not wearing shoes. And I was like, what? I had to, look it up. And yeah, so it's a part of the tradition itself, and anytime they pray, they take off their shoes. So, even little things like that, right? The students find really engaging. So then, I have a little question for them. How many people visit, each year? It's about 2.5 million. And then I also wrote down some information here in the notes that you guys can go over if you guys would like with the students, and then draw the Kaaba or the area. So again, then we go here to this area, the House of Wisdom here. And we talk a little bit about the Greeks and Roman books that were here and everything. And then circle the coolest looking thing, right? So it's just a lot of little tools that Pear Deck has itself that made the lesson very engaging. So definitely give it a try. And even if you don't teach about Islam itself, maybe, but you want to use this to explore different areas, like even like the Roman Empire and things like that. That has a lot of areas that you could actually explore. I just thought it was a really cool tool to allow them to do this, right? So to be able to actually get a pretty cool view of these different areas, right? So there's definitely a lot of potential usage for this. But yeah, for now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.